Ukraine turns Russia's $3.6 billion S-500 defense shield into fire and ruin in one night. Today, Ukraine turns Russia's most heavily fortified supply artery into a blind and burning void, using carbon rafts, stealth drones, deception beacons, and fiber-optic links to dismantle an estimated $3.6 billion in Russian defensive and logistical capacity. Instead of striking from the air, a 14-person ghost unit slips beneath the radar lattice, blinds the S-500 network, and triggers a detonation beneath 35 feet of concrete that Russia believed untouchable. By the time Moscow realizes what is happening, its western Rostov supply grid is collapsing piece by piece. The operation begins from its first quiet moment in the dark. At 4:58 a.m., the military passageway between Rostov and Taganrog sat above a hidden reservoir of war material. Beneath 35 feet of reinforced concrete were 2,100 tons of ammunition, 15,000 combat UAVs valued at around $4,000 each, and 2.7 million gallons of stored military fuel. Above this underground depot, a 6-tier S-500 air defense structure, costing billions, swept the sky with machine precision. Yet the decisive threat did not approach from above. 14 Ukrainian operators entered through the Koladna corridor, their movements low and deliberate, carrying carbon rafts worth $12,000, Stinger X launchers valued at $170,000, micro FPVs priced under $1,000, and a strand of high-speed fiber line as thin as a hair. Their strategy hinged on timing. Ukraine's analysts had detected a 0.6-second gap in Russian radar rotation, a moment so brief it appeared insignificant. The Ghost team moved in synchronization with that flicker, crossing sensor boundaries during the radar's blind breath. No alarms, no muzzle flashes, no signatures to mark their entry. The first Russian alert did not resemble combat. It sounded like a low hum as a Falcon 8X decoy drone, an expendable $7,500 craft, skimmed 60 feet above frozen grass. Its task was singular: to be detected, Russia obliged. An S-500 interceptor worth $4.8 million ignited upward and tore the Falcon from the sky. Russian operators exhaled, confident they had neutralized the opening threat. They did not know that the explosion they witnessed was a thermal curtain masking the true infiltration. Beneath that expanding halo of heat, 2 Ukrainian Whisper FPVs lifted from the tree line and drifted under the radar canopy. Barely larger than dinner plates, their rotors whispered through the cold air as they approached an IR Sentinel station worth $1.2 million. The Sentinel fed infrared data directly into the S-500 command structure. The first drone struck the relay plate. The second embedded itself in exposed cabling. A spark and a sharp pop followed. The infrared array collapsed into static. What had begun as a fraction-second blind spot widened into a structural failure across Russia's thermal surveillance grid. On the corridor's north bank, a Russian patrol reacted to faint movement and fired into reeds. Their bullets broke the silence, but Ukraine responded not with lethal force. Soft-burst concussion rounds cracked open nearby, disorienting but not harming the soldiers. Ukraine's operators sought invisibility, not casualties. Their goal was to dismantle a fortress without triggering panic fire that might reveal the mission. For 90 seconds, battlefield logic fractured. Thermal feeds pulsed unpredictably, and radar signatures elongated and compressed in erratic cycles. Acoustic sensors returned echoes from empty spaces. Russia's most advanced defensive array was overwhelmed by contradictory data streams engineered through layered deception. As the S-500 chased ghosts, Ukraine secured its foothold on the ground. The threat was already inside the wire. Deeper in the marsh, the Ghost team advanced at a precise rhythm, 1 mile every 10 minutes. Each step sank silently. Beneath mud and reeds, they buried palm-sized vibration beacons worth $400 each. These devices mapped the terrain across a 2-mile radius. Above the operators, a fiber-optic tether carried 15 gigabytes of seismic imagery per second, providing a clean, jam-proof link to the command node. A new danger emerged when a Russian patrol spotted an unusually straight trail of disturbed mud and fired a flare. Blue-white light washed across the swamp, turning shadows into silhouettes. Before Russian rifles could capitalize, Ukraine deployed a flare-spoofing FPV, priced around $500. It burst overhead into a mirrored bloom, scattering glare signatures across the marsh. Russian fire followed the false suns, shredding reeds while the operators slipped deeper into concealment. Moments later, a Vortex 12 heavy pursuit drone, valued at $28,000, swooped down. Its thermal optics tracked the faint warmth of a carbon raft. Ukraine responded with a handheld micro-jammer costing about $4,600. The directed pulse scrambled the drone's flight computer. The Vortex shuddered, spiraled, and crashed into reeds. Another sensor lost without traditional combat. Inside Russia's command bunker, the tactical picture collapsed. Screens flooded with clean noise, interference patterned like real data, yet devoid of meaning. Algorithms stalled. Officers argued over whether they were witnessing infiltration or deception. Russia's sensors contradicted one another faster than operators could interpret them. The first true compromise of Ukraine's concealment happened by chance. A nearly invisible fiber-optic strand snagged beneath the boot tread of a Spetsnaz operator. He froze, saw the faint glint of man-made material, and reported it. The Russian command reacted immediately. 12 Spetsnaz moved into the marsh, while an Orlan-30 reconnaissance UAV, worth $120,000, descended into a low-altitude scan pattern. Its sensors probed the water for heat and movement. But Ukraine had already prepared the next countermeasure for this exact scenario. Biosmoke canisters, simple $900 metal spheres, burst into clouds of metallic vapor, colder than ambient air. Thermal imaging inverted. Hot objects registered cold. Cold objects flared brightly. Spetsnaz helmet displays flickered into negative silhouettes. The Orlan-30's thermal feed dissolved into distortion. During these disorienting seconds, a Hydra mini-aquatic FPV, a compact $1,100 drone, glided beneath the waterline. It moved towards the Orlan's acoustic footprint and detonated a microburst underwater. The shockwave rattled the UAV's hydroacoustic sensors, throwing its telemetry into spasms. The drone lost lock completely. Russian communications devolved into static. Helmet displays inverted, corrected, then inverted again. The marsh remained silent, yet felt alive with unseen movement. Only now did Russian officers understand that the attack had been rising from the mud, not descending from the sky. With sensors crippled, Ukraine shifted to the kill line phase. Operators placed 4 stealth FPVs, each valued at $1,200, into forward positions. Their matte black surfaces absorbed moonlight. Behind them, 3 javelin launchers rested on low tripods, each a $198,000 precision system aimed at the depot's structural weak point. Misdirection beacons activated next, projecting a false topography that convinced Russia the intrusion was unfolding 1.4 kilometers east. Russian air defenses reacted to the Phantom incursion by launching wave after wave of interceptors. $11 million worth of missiles soared into empty sky. Every detonation wasted another resource, while the real threat remained perfectly still among the reeds. The signal to strike came as a silent hand gesture. 4 stealth FPVs rose like black sparks and accelerated to 120 miles per hour. They skimmed tree lines before climbing toward the S-500's radar cluster, a $52 million array anchoring the Koladna defense belt. In rapid succession, 4 impacts disabled the radar panels. The S-500 went blind in 2 seconds. Immediately, the javelins ignited. 3 missiles climbed sharply, executed top-attack arcs, and dove toward the depot's reinforced ceiling. Their guidance computers searched for structural weaknesses and found them. When they punched through the concrete and entered the hollow space below, the detonation event began. 2,100 tons of ammunition ignited from the inside outward. Pressure built into a superheated core that erupted through concrete and earth. The 35-foot roof disintegrated. Shockwaves bent trees and drove walls of heat through the corridor. 40 seconds later, A satellite recorded a 900 megawatt plume rising above the cloud layer. The thermal spike generated vortex spirals as the plume punched upward. When the tremors settled, the Kholodny corridor had become a crater, roughly 170 meters across, a bowl carved into the earth. Everything Russia had buried, guarded, and believed indestructible had vanished in the blast. The ghost team withdrew in silence. At dawn, the operational damage crystallized. Russia's Western Rostov supply grid lost 22 key officers, including logistics, targeting, and electronic warfare specialists. 470 artillery units fell silent, deprived of targeting data. Reconnaissance drone activity fell from around 450 daily sorties to fewer than 40. 140 fuel convoys stopped along the M23 highway. Ammunition flow across the region plunged by 68%. With the S-500's left-eye radar destroyed, Russia's reaction time expanded from 16 seconds to 47, not descending from the sky, inflicting what analysts later estimated as nearly $3.6 billion in Russian losses across air defense, ammunition reserves, and regional logistics. Civilian impacts emerged as well, tracing the human cost beneath the statistics. 3 villages along the Kholodny River endured 9 hours without power as wooden homes heated dangerously. Nurses escorted infants and elderly residents outside for cooler air. Farther upriver, 2 Russian farmers found a Ukrainian operator collapsed in reeds. They moved him to a shelter in silence and left before soldiers arrived. Near the crater, a firefighter later sent an anonymous message after a Ukrainian drone warned him away from a collapsing wall. As the sunrise stretched over the 170-meter scar, the outcome was unmistakable. Ukraine had dismantled a billion-dollar fortress with low-cost tools, timing, and precision, inflicting what analysts later estimated as nearly $3.6 billion in Russian losses across air defense, ammunition reserves, and regional logistics. Yet one question lingered over the ruined corridor. In a war where drones cost hundreds and radars cost billions, who will ultimately bear the price? The armies that build them, or the civilians who live between their lines? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below.